Greetings. Happy Saturday to you, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And more importantly, I hope you're calm right now. Calm, because we're going to learn a little bit about that today, because your dog not being calm is one of the reasons why training can be so difficult, especially if you own one of these breeds like Captain, my cattle dog, or these Malinois or German Shepherds, some of these fire-breathing dogs, even these doodles nowadays, these golden doodles. Man, these animals are super hyper. They almost like ADHD. They can't seem to focus. And guess what? There's a real biological reason for that. Not just because my genetic baseline, I'm a herding dog like Captain, I'm supposed to push animals. No, there's another reason. And it's called the arousal column, the physiological stress response. And I'm telling you what, controlling that is everything. It is key to everything. How many times have you been told in your life, just breathe, count to 10 before you make that decision, walk away, relax, sleep on it. I mean, if you've been watching the Olympics here recently, look at them. Look at them right before they're about ready to do their event. You can see them doing all sorts of cognitive shifts. Breathing, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. All of these things to relax. And there's a reason for it. You can have the best training techniques in the world. You can have all the knowledge in the world for training dogs. But you will fall short if you cannot control your dog's arousal. So what is the arousal? It is our response, a physiological response to the stress rising in our body. It's very adaptive and it's very good until it gets to a certain point. Now, we humans have lived long enough and well enough that we can actually mobilize that bad boy with just a mere thought. Can you imagine that? You think about something that you're dreading, maybe a trip to the dentist. Maybe you're stuck in traffic and you got to go to the bathroom. Maybe you just got this big fat letter from the IRS. And the next thing you know, without even really knowing for sure what's happening, your body goes into this physiological uproar. And up we go, more and more and more aroused. Thank goodness your dog cannot mobilize its stress response from a mere thought. So what is the stress response? This is this reaction in the body. Anytime you leave homeostasis, that little perfect temperature, that perfect chemical balance, that perfect effective state. When something on the outside world as a stressor comes along, it'll knock you off balance. And that's why we sweat. That's why we shiver when we're cold. That's why we do so many of the things we do. It's your body fighting to get back to where it wants to be, those crosshairs called homeostasis. A little bit this way, a little bit that way, a little up, a little down, and it does all it can to get back. But let me show you what happens from this from a training standpoint. Now know this before I even go into this column here. The stress response is there for both the lion and the zebra. It is there for excitement and it is also there for fear. I mean, after all, have you ever heard someone say, man, I laughed so hard, man, I peed my pants. And then you have the same person turn around or someone else saying, oh, dude, that scared me so bad I peed my pants. Well, that peeing thing, that urination thing, that's you moving up from your calm zone straight way up here in your arousal column. And it's your body saying, hey, if you happen to be running from something dangerous, this is not a handy time to be carrying around a bladder full of urine. You need to get that stuff out of you right here and right now. But it's also the same thing. If I happen to be chasing something, I'm trying to catch something as an animal, well, not a handy time to be having a bladder full of urine. That's why a lot of us, when we own these male dogs especially, you come home and they're super excited. They're way up here to see you. They can't wait to see you. And all of a sudden you reach down and touch their head. It's like you turn on a faucet. There they go. Piddling everywhere, pee everywhere. And you go, oh my gosh, now you get upset and that drives them even further up the arousal column. And here's what I need you to understand. This is the one column. This is the one place in life where you want to bottom out. That's right. The bargain basement is where you want to be. You want to be a bottom dweller. Absolutely, bottom feeder. Calm, baby, calm. I've told everyone, stress Stress won't kill you. It'll just set you up to be killed by every darn thing else. So you want to be calm. You want to be calm. Heck, they even now have things on my iPhone that tell me to breathe. I'm sitting there going, I am breathing. Why do you think I'm still here? But that's not what they mean. They're saying, settle down, Brian. Now, how I picked that up, I don't know. Maybe it's my microphone spying on me. Something going, oh, he was talking really loud a second ago. He's really animated. I need to tell Brian to breathe. I don't know what it is. But again, trying to control the stress response. Well, the further we go up this arousal column from a chemical standpoint, biological standpoint, all sorts of things happen. Again, and we see this the most with either very active breeds or very young dogs, period. The younger you are, the more locomotor capability you have, the more inquisitive you are, the more you're trying to mimic every single other creature in your group, the more you're trying to learn. Your brain is like a sponge. You are moving. And then the older we become, the more we become more settle. Hence why social play is for the young, not really for the old. So as we climb up this thing into calm zone, we go up here, we've got increased blood pressure. Our oxygen is going, our heart rate's going. That's not all a bad thing. You got spidey senses. You got it going. And it's there to be very adaptive. Be able to seize the day right here, baby, right about the middle of that arousal column. You're seizing the day. So here you're about vigilant and alert. Then you climb a little bit more. Now you're starting to get a little stressed, but stress is fine. Stress is adaptive. I mean, if you can't handle stress, you won't survive on this planet for very long. Hence why we were all given the biology to overcome stressors that are moderate to mild and transient. What we were not given the biology to do is overcome pathological stressors. But that's another talk on another video. Well, we started to climb up here. Well, even from excitement. So again, I got this hyperactive dog, I got this supercharged golden doodle. Man, this thing's just jumping all over my guests, jumping all over everyone. That dog has climbed all the way up to the very top of this arousal column section right here. Right there. And when it gets up there, just know this. The further you climb up this column, especially when you hit that distressed area, that reactive area, and then by golly, let's don't even talk about the panic area. The further you go up the column, I should take this column right now and I should squeeze that. Squeeze it like a triangle, like a pyramid. Because the further you get up, the more your world contracts around you. The more you are super and hyper focused on one event or one stimulus or stimuli parked dead smack in front of you. So let me give you a little example so you kind of understand this from the dog's perspective. Let's say you're sitting on your sofa at 10 o'clock at night binging on Netflix and you hear what you believe is someone kicking in your back door. Now again, I want to assume at this moment here, let's just go with it. You don't have any dogs to protect you or anything. Well, next thing you know, you're thinking, oh geez, is someone just kicking my back door? Well, I'm telling you what, you're probably going to put the wine down, the glass of beer, whatever you happen to have. You're going to set that thing on a coffee table, and you're going to suddenly be very aroused, very vigilant. Your eyes will dilate, your heart rate will go up, your oxygen will go up. You will have fatty acids secreted from your liver. You will have glucose, you will have cortisol. You are getting ready, baby, for fight or flight. And now as you start moving down that hallway, you will also have about right here, which is why I love a little stress in training. Because see that little area right there that I just drew that line across? That is called enhanced cognition. Yeah, oh, you're set up for learning, baby. So you're going down that hallway and your mind is going like a supercomputer. Man, what happened? What if someone did break in my door? Do I dial 911? Do I run upstairs? Do I run downstairs? Do I run out the side door, front door? Do I get a bat? Do I use Kung Fu? What do I do? Well, next thing you know, you get a little bit further down that hallway, you round that corner, and here comes a butcher knife, hurtling about 60 miles an hour right towards your face. Guess what? Same thing is going to happen for your dog in a training event, and I'll get to that. But for you, here comes this big butcher knife hurtling right towards your face. Well, right at that moment, depending upon your life experiences in your training, maybe in the 3rd grade, you learn some sort of karate move, how to block that knife. Depending upon what you know, your biology, are you a producer or are you a scrounger? What is your fighting skills? All of the stuff will be brought to bear against the person that's the assailant with the butcher knife. And the other thing that happens is your brain will go, hey, Brian, up to this moment, I'm going to tell you, real proud of you, buddy. You did good. I love the way you're thinking coming down that hallway. Man, you had some good plans, some good contingencies. I really like the fact that you did get up off that sofa, got up off your butt and decided to investigate this danger here. You have done super well right up to this point. But if you happen to notice, there's a butcher knife hurtling at about 60 miles an hour right towards your face. Things have gotten very dire at this moment, and you're about to suffer an acute physical crisis. So if you don't mind, love you, buddy, but I'm going to kind of park you to the side from a conscious standpoint. And I'm going to take over from here. And I'm going to draw on all that stuff I just talked about a second ago. I'm going to tap into implicit memory, into procedural memory. That's stuff that you can do without even thinking. And you won't even be aware of it. But don't worry, I got it. I'll take it from here. So guys, when you climb a little bit further up this column here to this distressed and finally to this panic reactive zone up here, guess what? You don't remember it. This is where people ask you the next thing. Go, hey, Brian, tell me about it, dude. I heard your house got broken into. Some dude tried to stab you. And you're going, yeah, that's what I heard too. Because all I remember was I thought I heard something like my door being kicked in. I was moving down the hallway. And next thing you know, I got a cop asking me a whole bunch of questions. You won't remember it. I was driving down the road. Next thing you know, I saw a car pull out in front of me. I don't remember anything after that. Just I was in the emergency room and someone was talking to me, put a pin light in my eye. You guys been there? You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't have to be an attack to you in your house. It can just be you disappearing for a little bit. Well, the same thing happens to our dogs. And again, remember, it happens from an excitement standpoint, from an overwork standpoint. If I get out the ball and I start throwing it too much for Captain, I've lost him. I've lost him because his whole world is contracted to this area right up here at the very top. The further we go up, the more we lose our dog. Hence why controlling the arousal column is everything. It's everything. I don't care how smart your dog is. I don't care how much energy it has. I don't care. You let your dog get past a certain point, you've lost them. You've lost them. And that's why they don't respond to you saying, no, knock it off, get off that person. Come to me when I cry. Nope, I told you to stay. Guess what? It's also why they don't respond to physical corrections. You can jerk on that leash all you want to, and you can set that remote collar off at the highest level. You get nothing. Because back to you, if that butcher knife had stabbed you, again, you'd be looking down at a wound later on going, wow, how did that happen? Because of self-analgesia. It's all to keep you alive on the planet Earth, folks. It's doing the same thing for your dog. So the further they go up this thing, whether it be from excitement or whether it be from fear, that's what happens. So here's what we have to do. When I train my own personal dogs, I recommend that you do the same thing. You have got to make sure you've got to cut this bad boy in half depending upon your dog's biology, your dog's age. You've got to figure it out. And how do you figure it out? You figure it out just from experimentation, just from living with your dog. Good Lord, you live with a dog for a week, and you know a whole lot about your dog. You know a whole lot of good things, and you know a whole lot of bad things. That's called predictive information, and that's important because if you can, try to prevent those situations in which your commands are falling on deaf ears. Don't do it, because here's something I didn't tell you. When you go up here and your commands fall on deaf ears, when that butcher knife was hurtling towards you and you don't recall it, well, you actually do. You see, your brain still remembers it, because remember, your brain was still working at that moment. And therefore, it parks that memory at a molecular level. We call it molecular memory. So case in point, your dog gets super worked up at the door, jumping on people, jumping on them. You're going, no, off, all this sort of stuff. Even your neighbor, your guests are kneeing the dog and doing all these crazy things, and it's not working. Well, guess what? Next time that doorbell rings, there's it is. There's that provocative event, and here goes your dog. And what's it going to do? The exact same it did before. Meaning if you did use that third grade kung fu move to block that butcher knife, that's exactly the move you're going to use to block that bat that comes at you next time. It's what you do. If it worked, why deviate from? Why modify? Stick with what works. And only we humans, only on a conscious level, on a deliberate level, continue to repeat behaviors that do not work for us. Dogs don't. Take it out for better or worse. So keep this in mind. You can't let your dog go up there. So again, when I have my young dogs in my household, I don't believe in letting my dogs greet anyone at the door. I know how hyper social they are. I know how vital it is for them to start to process friend or foe. But you know what? You can do that a whole lot better from a distance. That's right. Hence why, ding dong, oh, these are people we're going to invite into our house. Hey, all you dogs, place. And now they can sit back at a distance and observe these people coming through at a much lower state in their stress response, which then means they're going to be more receptive. Might go, nope, back on your place, Scott. And now my guests can also come in, and they're not all worked up, because again, I don't care how much you love dogs, but you got 3 dogs at someone's door jumping and clawing all over that door, and you're thinking, oh God, what am I walking into? Your stress response is up. And because your dogs have clawed the previous visitors to your home before, you, as the dog owner, your stress response is up. And because we know from a scientific and biological level that dogs mirror our stress response, oh my God, it's just all gone. Just forget about it. So again, I drive dogs down. I don't let it. If I can prevent it, I can avoid the situation, I'm going to avoid it. Because there's no good up here. This is not called exposure. This is not called socialization. This is called stinking bad training and survival. And don't let anyone tell you anything else, because I'm telling you what, they don't know what they're talking about. I do. I live and breathe this area right here every single darn day. It's what I do for my living. So listen to me. Even dogs that I don't have to treat from a pharmacotherapy standpoint, I still treat them and I still control this arousal column. And you got to do the same thing. So try to avoid, try to prevent, try to know your dog. Don't put your dogs in situations in which you just really don't have to put them in, where you know they're going to go up here. And when they go up here, how do you know they're up there? Real simple. They're not obeying. Why are they not disobedient? I mean, that could happen, but trust me, then that's down here. That's at that low point. That's not up here. Up here, I don't care how trained they are. You'll lose them for a minute. You'll lose them. So that being said, try to avoid it if you can. Now, if you can't ever avoid, you have to intervene, meaning you're caught in it. This thing's happening. It's launched. You went from level 1, and now all of a sudden at about level 6, just being 10 up here, you're going, okay, I need to do something. I need to do something. How can I drive this thing down? I got to keep my dog where that Brian said that enhanced cognition is. At the stress level, not the distressed level. So you do that through training. Again, you heard me a second ago. Place. Absolutely. We're not going to greet anyone at the door. What? Really? Why do I need to do that? You can greet them later when you're calm. Because see, here's another deal here. No matter how far you go up this column, you will decay. You will come back down. You cannot live up here. You can't. You can't, no matter how much you need to. That's why people get winded. It's why people just finally give up. No matter how hard they try. They succumb to it. The body can't live up there. It's going to drive you down. And it's going to drive you down quickly. Much faster than a lot of people realize. Down, 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 down. So I want to start this whole darn thing as calm as I can, and then I'm going to do everything I can to stop it right here and drive it down. And I can do that through training. I can do that by telling my dog to lay down. Yeah, guess what? When your body goes from this elevation to this elevation right here, and you're touching the ground, your heart's going to think, hey, are we going to rest? Time to go to bed? Hence why they do an EKG on you. They're going to make you lay down. If they want to draw a comparison, maybe they'll make you run on a treadmill for a little bit or walk on a treadmill and then make you lay down. Because they know you can't help it. You lay down long enough and you will eventually relax. The heart rate goes down, and when it does, it drags this whole arousal column down with it. So I can use down, I can use stay. Distance. The further you're away from the provocative stimulus, the less worked up you're going to be about it. It's a fact. I can use come. Maybe you're racing towards that provocative stimulus. You're like, oh, I'm getting closer, I'm getting closer. The closer you get, I'm about to catch it. Well, I'm going to call you back before you get to that far. Use come. So you can use training. You can use zookeeping. There's a time and a place for that. Put your darn dog up. Yeah, you're going to have a bunch of people over tomorrow for the Super Bowl, and there's going to be alcohol involved. Put the darn dog up if it's a young dog, unless that thing is superbly trained, and you can trust your guests to behave appropriately around your dog. And if not, put it up. Put it up. In the crate you go, in a room you go, behind a baby gate you go, whatever. Out back, you're inside, I don't know. Just do what you need to do to, again, keep the dog from going up here. Because remember, anything I learn up here, anything that happens to me, anything I learn up here, I will retain for life. For life. And if I ever go back up here again for whatever reason, I'm going to use that same thing I used before to get out of that situation. Or to make sure the situation works out for me, to my advantage. And then lastly, you can also use chemicals. Now, chemicals are usually reserved for those animals that training can't drive them down their arousal column. They're not buying. They're not picking up what you're putting down. They're not. They don't believe it. Hence why the title of my book that will be coming out soon is The Impenetrable Lie. You can't penetrate it. You can't. It's all a lie to your dog. Your dog's seen a threat where their threat does not exist, but you can't tell them otherwise. You can't relax the animal. You can't do it. You can't reassure them. They're not buying it. So for those animals, they're going to climb up this thing real fast. I mean, and this can all occur within a second. And you don't even have time to prevent it. It's already too late. So for animals like that, we use chemicals. And chemicals can come in the form of anything from an antidepressant, which will lower the dog's day-to-day anxiety, stretching the arousal column, making sure that that reactive and panic area is way up there, not way down here. You can use a panicolytic benzodiazepine in case there is a panic element in your dog's condition. Some dogs, I know our two Morkies sure benefit from cannabidiol for going to the groomer. It sure helped them a lot to overcome their fear of this unknown environment and scissors and clippers and all these strange people doing strange things to you. It really helped them to get over it, helped them to learn. It drove them down, kind of trapped them about right there. And right there I had that enhanced cognition. I'm not distressed. Distress is bad. I kept them right there using a chemical to do that. So there's all sorts of chemicals that can be used to drive us down. And again, from a human standpoint, think about it. You've had a rough day. You're worked up. You're upset. Bam, glass of wine. Bam, craft beer. We humans been anesthetizing ourselves and driving ourselves down that arousal column from a chemical standpoint forever. And it'll keep on happening forever. In fact, it's just probably going to increase. So again, there's so many things you can do. But from a training standpoint, I like those static positions. I like a good down. I like a good place. I like a good stay. Sit's okay. Sit is transitory, kind of like straddling the fence. I don't like to straddle the fence. Got to have a good calm because that's intervention big time. What I don't like are behaviors in which we're moving real quickly, like heeling. If I'm walking my dog and someone's approaching with their dog and I feel my dog starting to drive up this thing, boom, I'm going to create distance. Distance is your friend. Let me say it again. Distance is your friend. So create distance. Time is your friend. Time is your friend. Create time. If I keep walking and someone's approaching me with their dog, I've got a head-on collision about to happen. That greeting is going to happen twice as fast. So again, I'm pulling my car off the side of the road, and I'm going to try and park my dog in a down if I can. If I can't, at least go for a sit, anything, or at least go for, hey, I got this thing. Just so you know, you remember me, I'm the guy that can make you lay down. You're not making me lay down. So between the two of us, I can handle this situation a whole lot more than you can. So lean on me. You just relax. I'll take it from here. Let me get stressed. You just chill. All right, guys, I hope this helps you to a degree. Think about it all the time. Think about it in your own lives, about you personally. Drive it down, baby. Breathe. Put your tongue on the bottom of your mouth, not on the roof of your mouth. Breathe in through your nose, exhale. Yeah, I'm telling you, do whatever you can. Read a book, relax. Because when we're worked up, our dogs are worked up, we're driving them up that column, and I'm telling you, everything in training, everything, anything that I could teach you to do, teach you to teach your dog. I can teach you to train your dog to stand on its head. Well, it ain't going to do so when it's up here. Know your dog. Some dogs get up that column a whole lot faster than other dogs. Know your dog. And then do all that you can. Rely on your training. Drive that bad boy back down. Try to avoid it if you can, if you don't have time to do the training part of it. And if your dog needs a whole lot of help, think about using some chemicals. And then be a zookeeper anytime you need to. Okay, guys, hope that helped you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And relax. Check in next time.